earlier, I finished, just before we started recording, my frozen socks. I have not woven in the ends even yet, but I will. Okay, so this is from my French Vanilla Cappuccino sock pattern. And I used US 1.5 2.5 mil needles, and the yarn is Strawberry Fields yarn. Take a hike in the frozen colorway. And I love it. They're not matchy because they're off by just a little bit, but that's fine with me. But I do like that the heel it's not like funky. It doesn't have like just like one row of a color, even though they're not exactly matchy. This one I like a little bit better because it's got a thicker gray here and the blue is a little slimmer there, but that's life. I like them a lot. And I can't wait to put this colorway in my zigzag blanket because I have enough left. So, I might even do that next after the Ziggy yarn because this is a winter colorway and it'll still be winter when I'm working on it. So I might do that. Yeah, and that is everything that I finished this week. And you finished this week because we were very good finishers. All right, well, with that, we should probably move on to the next segment. And now it's time for our favorite part of the show, Yummies. What are yummies, Tammy?
Yummies are our current favorite things we like, things we want to talk to you about.
Yummies. And we have very few yummies to talk to you about this week because we've still been on holiday. Today is actually our first day back to work. So we have been doing a lot of knitting and watching movies and or TV. So we will talk about all the TV in the next segment. But I did want to tell you, so I don't know how I got away from this, but I had not been listening really to music recently. And then one of my favorite artists Christy Nockels, put out her very first Christmas album called The Thrill of Hope. And I know I talked about this and linked it before. And it got me, and I listened to it so many times. I don't even know how many times. My Google Play says that I listened to some of those songs like 60 times. And that doesn't include the ones that I listened to when it was downloaded on my iPad or iPhone. I really loved that album. It was like my whole Christmas soundtrack. But it got me thinking, I miss music. Because I do love music. I grew up singing and in choir, and I did a couple of years of a music degree in university. I ended up changing my major, but I did a couple of years of it. So I was like, I really miss music. So one of my artists that I really love that I had forgotten about kind of, because I hadn't been listening to music, is Norah Jones. And so I picked up I used Christmas money that I had received, and I got her brand new album called Daybreaks. And I also got an album of hers that I didn't have called Little Broken Hearts. And I'll link both of those in the show notes. But I am finding myself listening to more music and not watching or listening to as many podcasts. I still do listen to and watch some podcasts, but I really, especially like if I'm reading and journaling, I like to have like instrumental classical music playing. So I have a whole playlist of that. And then if I'm just like reading fiction or, just knitting or whatever, or working, and I don't, and it won't bother me to have songs with words being sung on them. I have this other playlist of music I love that has stuff from it has Norah Jones, it has Christy Nockels, it has Adele, it has Taylor Swift. I know this is like a widespread. It has J.J. Heller. Who else does it have?
Begins with the C.
Civil Wars. I'm still so brokenhearted over their breakup. I love them. Can you think of anybody else that I have on there?
I think that's all that's on there.
Yeah. And I just put it on shuffle and I get all kinds of fun music. So that is my yummy for this week. Sadly,
I like music too.
I know. I know you do. You listen to a lot of musicals.
Yes.
Yes, that is kind of your
I have
playlist.
Dave Malloy's musicals on repeat right now. His 3 ones that have a cast album.
And you had hoped that a yummy of yours would arrive today in the post, but it did not.
Yes, the Great Comic Book.
that you got with Christmas money.
Yeah.
So hopefully it should be here in time for next week's podcast. So you will share it then. Is that everything? Gosh, yeah, we enjoy watching TV and movies and knitting. Because that's what we've been doing a lot of. And reading. I've done a ton of reading. You'll get that in the next episode, the next segment as well. Okay, well then let's talk about I just split a stitch. Whoa. I am doing the wrong thing here. Shoot. I'm gonna have to take it back. Okay, it's gonna be okay. Let's talk about hashtag #GGKCraftyPad. What is it, Dammy?
It stands for Geeky Girls Knit Crafty Photo a Day Challenge. We have a list of photo prompts for each month. So you take a look at the prompt for that day, take a picture related to it, and post it anywhere you like. But we pick our favorites from Instagram.
That's right. And I was even doing the row. I like the knit row over the purl row. I mean, the purl is fine, but I like the knit row better. And I was doing a knit row, and I was doing it as a purl row. And I even said to you, do I think I can do this? Can I knit on this while we're podcasting? Apparently not. Okay, so the January list is out and going, and there's like a lot of stuff about the new year and goals and looking back and oops, that doesn't get oops, that's slip stitch. Yeah, so what are we about to show them?
2 photos from us that we liked and 5 photos from other people that we liked.
So here come the photos. You can breathe a sigh of relief. I repaired
The damage.
I've got it now. I'm in the rhythm. There we go. So those were our favorite photos. Great job, everybody. It's never too late to join in. Just take a look at the prompts list. Today's prompt when we're recording is begin. And I'm going to take a picture because I'm beginning a new pair of socks. And then you post it on Instagram. Make sure in your caption you use the hashtag #GGKCraftyPad, because if you don't use that, we can't find your photos. I noticed today on Instagram that we're over 17,000 #GGKCraftyPad photos. That is awesome, you guys. And then yours might get chosen. We pick our 5 favorite every single week. All right, Dammy, we have one event that we'll be attending. Well, actually, we'll be vending at. Why don't you tell us about it? You don't have to say 2017 anymore because we're in 2017. If you would like more info about this, you can go to edenyarnfest.com. They haven't released it to the public yet, but we as vendors got the layout of the Edinburgh
Booths.
Edinburgh Corn Exchange. Yeah, because that's where it's located at the event. So, yeah, so if you are in or around Edinburgh or are coming up for Edinburgh Yarn Festival, we would love to meet you. We will be doing a little bit of stuff with the podcast lounge. Not a ton because we'll be in our booth. Sorry, I forgot. I turned my phone on silent, but I forgot to turn off the vibration. I will do that when we pause here in a minute. What was I going to say? There is a podcast lounge knit along going on. If you're interested in finding out more about that, you can go to, I believe it's on Knit British, Louisa's site, who does the Knit British podcast and who is in charge of the podcast lounge. Let me see if it pops up on here on her website. Talk among yourselves. She's hosting. Oh, I bet it's here in her show notes. Let's see if we can click into this episode. I just want to be able to send y'all, I'm sorry, I should have looked this up before. I just wanted to be able to send y'all to the location to find out more about it. Sorry. Yeah, but so why don't you tell them what especially we will have in our booth?
Our patterns.
No, but what is brand new going to be there?
Oh, our new book, Coffee with Cece and Dammy 2 and Other 7-pattern caffeine-inspired knitting collection.
That's right. Oh, yes. Okay, here it is. So I'll put a link in the show note, but if you go to knitbritish.net and go into her new episode, she has information about the hashtag BlackerPodCal. Blacker Yarns is co-hosting it with Louise and the Podcast Lounge. So the details are in Louise's on Louise's site, so you should check into that if you want to participate. I want to say oh yeah, okay, so even if you're not going to be attending even if you're not going to be attending Edinburgh Yarn Festival, you can still participate. So, yeah, so you should definitely check into it, and we will be there. All right, let's move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about what we are reading and watching.
Yes, so what are you reading, Dammy?
I am still reading Les Mis by Victor Hugo.
Okay, what would you like to say about it?
Okay, so my translation is divided into 6 big books or volumes, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then those volumes are divided into smaller sections, books. I can't remember which one is which, but I am in the second of the big books.
Okay.
So Valjean has just met little Cosette and bought her a doll.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so sweet. I'm looking up about a book that I'm going to talk about because it was on sale, but I don't think it still is. No, it's not. Okay. If it was still on sale, I was going to tell you, make sure and go get it while it's on sale so you can save money, but it's not. Okay, well, are you enjoying it?
Yes.
Okay.
Although his chapter titles are really weird.
Kind of like in this series that I'm rereading now, where the chapter titles are really weird.
They're not really weird.
They are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. How do you mean that they're weird?
I don't know, it's because they're translated from French, and I think some of the weirdness comes from the fact that it would make sense if you read it in French and could understand like the joke he was making. But, like one of them was like, in which the reader will peruse 2 verses which are of the devil's composition, probably, or something like that.
Okay. That is a little weird. Okay. Well, hopefully you're still at least getting what he's intending to say.
Mm-hmm.
Dalek, if you don't get out of that. I have a Dalek stitch marker to mark my beginning of round, and it was inside the hat, and it did not want to come out. It was hiding. It was hiding. Okay, are you reading anything else?
No. So what all have you been reading?
Oh, I have finished a lot of things this week, you guys. So